All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Hara One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Harakah Kudash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And Shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, let me post something up real quick. Today's topic I want to go into there you go. Opening the image. Damn. Let me play this one too. Yes, yes. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to it. I'm gonna turn this down real quick so I can. All right. So today's topic I want to get into is this right here. As you see in the title, is the attacks, the threats that are coming from um, what they call the White House, right? Against these foreign nations, right? They call it a violent crackdown that's happening in Iran. So I'm gonna play a clip of a video from this guy Jason A. Matter of fact, let me go there real quick. All right, this is on the fly, man. I was trying to do a quick lesson real fast. Um, yeah, this is what we call regime change, man. This is what regime change is. All right, it's a slow cooking process, um, to where this is what I'm trying to be careful with my words. The hammer, uh, the daughter of Babylon, is built upon. All right, stirring up strife around the world, causing things like regime change in other countries, claiming to bring democracy, like they said they were going to do in Iraq, um, in Libya. But you look at those places now; they're still in a destroyed state. So when they say they're going to destroy a government, that's what they mean. They leave that government in the destroyed state. They don't build it back up and make it great, as they say. They don't want anything to come against. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get that scripture, man. This is what they're doing. This is Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, man. All right, given to pleasures, um, conquering these nations, taking their lands, taking their kings, like we're in the ancient Roman Empire, going to remove kings from places, taking their leaders and putting them into captivity. All right, resources, taking resources from places that dwelleth carelessly, man. All right, they dwell in carelessly, and that's what happens when somebody gets too comfortable in their power seat. That saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's that make Babylon great again mindset. It's in none else beside them. Nobody can sit beside them. So they're gonna keep pulling the rug from under your feet. If they see China and Iran doing deals, they're gonna uh, intervene and sabotage that. Russia, anybody that goes against their plan, they'll start saying, "Uh oh, I smell regime change." Oh, you don't want to listen, huh? Okay, you must be a terrorist. You must be a bad person. You see that? You over there doing. Matter of fact, they and they have something called uh what you call that, man? Basically uproars of the people, to where they're sending um teams, you know, to cause riots Um, Matter of fact, let me show you something real quick. I'm trying to watch my words, man. All right. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna read this. It says regime change. What they call it? Agent provocateurs, right? Agent provocateurs. They're sending them agent provocateurs that has caused riots in the streets. And now they say it's so bad over there in Iran that they said hundred thousands of people are being unalived in these riots now. All right. So and then you have Trump telling the people to continue the riots. And then they found their puppet. They've been trying to put their own um allied leader to this place, Great Babylon. They were trying to put this guy back in power over Iran so they can have control over that Middle East area and the oil, allegedly. All right, because really Iran is like the last chess piece that stands in uh the elites' way for a new world order over there in the Middle East. Because Iran wants their own new world order based upon Islam. So let me go to this. Let's see. I'm gonna show. So I'm gonna play this clip. Hopefully, I don't get no copyright strike. Might even turn it down. I don't know. Let me see. Share this tab. Quick little update on what's going on over there, man, because it can get kind of confusion when you got them hammering away at the same point of view from their view, saying they're bad people. Venezuela is a bad person. This person's a bad person. All of them, huh? They all just bad. America's this place is good people. We in the belly of the literally the beast, the belly of the beast, and we're starting to see how much of a beast this kingdom is as far as tyranny is concerned. Order out of chaos. But the only thing is, the order they want is control, not order meaning balance. All right. So they'll bring something called regime change. I'm gonna read that. It says regime change is the fundamental placement of a country's ruling system. All right. Let me get this. Hold up. Iran. So they're looking to do a regime change, man. There you go. It's part of the plan. You know, DJT planning regime change in Iran. And so they threatening and fighting wars on multiple fronts now through proxies. So there's three major war fronts that I believe are going to happen, but which one's going to start first? You got the situation with Russia over there on the fighting over those borders with Europe, so that could escalate. Um, if one of them goes really nuclear, or goes further into Europe or further into Russia, whatever. Taiwan with China, and then the major one is Iran, and Israel in America. That's I believe, according to scripture, I believe that's the one that's gonna kick it off. But Most High got all the cards on the table. He can choose whichever one he choose. All right. Regime change is the fundamental replacement of a country's ruling system, differing from mere government turnover by altering core leadership, inst- basically removing the core leadership, institutions, or ideology. They're trying to take over country and remove their ideologies as well, just like they did with us. Occurring through internal means, revolutions, coups, coup d'etats, right? Like over there in Iran, they got like a revolution, but it's systematic, it's planned, it's manipulated by the Western powers, or external intervention from these other nations, like America, this place. Invasions, covert actions, the three-letter word, the AIC, however you put them letters, with varying success and often leading to instability. That's what they want, instability. So in the midst of the instability and the chaos, they can slip in a new leader, all right, or attack the present one that's in power over there, which would be the Ayatollah. All right. So let's keep going. Where was that? Let's read this. So it says post conflict reconstruction, which they don't usually do. They don't reconstruct nothing. They just leave it distraught or destroyed. Or new national directions. It says but posing risk to sovereignty and stability, man. They want to take away the sovereignty. All right. So they took Maduro. If the government wasn't still in power and backed by Russia and China allegedly, then they wouldn't. They say it would benefit the people, but it's not going to benefit the people, man. They said the same thing in Iraq and Libya. They actually brought back slavery over there because of that. You know what happened with Iraq. Years later, they looked and it was actually slavery going on over there again, slave trade. So they didn't make it better, as they always say. Instead, they say what? Isaiah 47:8. I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. All right. So I'm gonna play this. This is what regime change looks like. It always starts off the same: propaganda, demonization. You know, we got to make them an enemy, so they're gonna say everything bad about the other country or the other country's leader.
And are even going house to house to physically cut phone lines and plunge Iran into a total internet darkness.
When you cut landlines, it's also very evident that they are trying to prevent the organization of actors inside the country. And it's not successful. People are still coming to the street in massive numbers.
After more than 2 weeks of protests during which human...
It says, DJT says, Spooky Spares are called Nero. He warns us. He warns that he warns that the U.S. will take very strong action if Iran hangs protesters. Like what them people got going on in their country, they got going on in their country. Now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what? So they know that through propaganda, people in America are gonna hear this. All right. So if I send somebody to your house, right, and I say, hey man, tear that place up, burn it down, whatever you want to do, I got your back. And the person say, no, I'm scared though. I got you. Don't worry about it. Next thing you know, you start saying, hey man, they better not touch him. They get to your house, they start burning the place. You come out threatening them and pushing them, and then I step in and say, look, he's pushing that woman over there, you know, or he pushing that old man or something, somebody that looks weaker in a sense to a power. He's bullying them. I gotta go help. Now you look like the hero when it was really your plan and propaganda from the beginning, which gets lost in translation later through the pile of lies and the actions that are happening. They forget all about it, the propaganda that started in the beginning. All right, that's why it's witchcraft, man. So yeah, that's part of their laws over there. Um, the hangings. All right. So they saying, yeah, you better not touch them, and they about to send over a puppet ruler, so the people can have a facial representative over there that represents the U.S. Same thing they did in Venezuela, man. Created two sides. Same thing they did in America, two opposing sides that they can control with, manipulate. All right, so let's play this video real quick.
Human rights groups say thousands of demonstrators have been killed. President Trump issued a message Tuesday to Iranian protesters.
Keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible.
Damn.
And all I say to them is help is on its way.
Americans will.
He didn't want to say, "Hey, be safe, maybe chill." He's sending them into the fire, off of their own agenda. All right, knowing that Iran is ain't playing, man. So let me get this real quick. This is Joel 2:20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you." So like, yeah, let me find this. All right, so, but I will remove far off from you the Northern Army. The Northern Army represents North America or the American Army, and will drive him through their desires. They're being driven into the Middle East, into a land barren and desolate. All right, what they call the Middle East, starting with Baghdad, Iraq, and all that. That's how they got over there. Started going into them areas. All right, ever since World War II, and with his face towards the East Sea. I would say that's when they got their foothold over there. Before that, they was always manipulating stuff, even going back to the 1950s. So the Lord drove them over there because it's the Most High's plan to start World War III through these different entanglements that these nations are having in these foreign countries. With his face towards the East Sea and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, and that would be right here. So this would be the hinder part would be towards the Red Sea, and his face is towards. This used to be what's called uh, the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. If you go into history, you understand that this used to be one sea. All right. So basically saying towards Iran and towards Russia. All right. So with the hinder part here, their direction is this way to conquer this. And it's always been that to take Iran. Once they take Iran, they basically rule all of the Muslim Brotherhood. That's the main one that stands in the way. It says, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, and his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, and his stank shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things, man. Nothing but unaliving over there. You know, act like he's doing something good. All right, just like they say Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Great, Babylon the Great. Same thing, great in wickedness. Right. So, look at this. Let's go to Habakkuk real quick. Matter of fact, I want to read something. It says for it said they don't went from make America make Iran great again, and they switched to Trump is watching. All right. Is Washington backing exiled Prince Pahlavi? All right, that's the this guy is the he look like Obama, don't he? Or that same dude, or he look like the guy that they put over Venezuela to go against Maduro, right? And he's been exiled, hiding here in America since the 1950s or 60s, and they set up the Ayatollah in his place. Yeah, he was more um, tied in with the U.S. So now, if you don't do what they say, they call you. They say you're a bad person. All right. Matter of fact, I like this picture. Share this one. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. It says exiled Iranian crown prince. See, they say crown prince. See how they talking about him? Reza Pahlavi has emerged as a key voice of Iran's protests. So he the main one. He said he the one that ignited it and told them to go. So who you think put the battery in his back to do it? Fueling speculation of U.S. backing. See, after appearing with Senator Lindsey Graham, we know that's a devil. As protests intensify, Pahlavi urges strikes now, regime change, and hints that President T, Mr. T, is watching and ready to help. It's crazy, man. Make Iran great again. The new face of Iran, backed by U.S. Reza Pahlavi, Iranian who is exiled, who is the exiled eldest son of the last Shah of Iran, Mohammed Reza Shah, and has not stepped into Iran in the last 40 years. It has become a voice of the Iranian protest, at least on social media. While U.S. has been signaling a possible strike on Iran, the question remains if U.S. is backing Pahlavi and attempting a regime change in Iran. We know that's what they're doing, man. Right? Look at this dude. Sheesh. A beat, a beat, a beat, a beat, a beat. That's all, folks. Right here. That's all they really want. Look at him, boy. He owns something, ain't he? He on one. I'm on one. Regime change in Iran. All right, we knew this. We knew this, especially being in this true, and they call it conspiracy theory. Well, it's a theory until it's true, right? And then it's not theory no more. It becomes reality. All right. So now let's keep moving. Trying to make this one quick. All right. So it says here, this guy. Let's play a little bit more now. As I get the scripture. Habakkuk 2 and let me see. Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. See, they transgress means it's tyranny, man, continual sin and wickedness, unalive people, death, all that. Lying. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. See, saying he pushing peace, but walking around giving them the middle finger to people. We say cut somebody out the other day, yesterday, because they looked at him and said you fired. And he was like, he snapped. He's a proud man. That's Esau. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. At the end of the day, neither keepeth at home. See, they out in everybody else's business. Busybodies. You know, neither keepeth at home. Most of the military spread out around the world in other people's territories. They call it the occupiers, who enlargeth his desires as hell, man. And one of his desires is a new world order. All right, and one of his desires is to take down Iran. Trump warns U.S. will take very strong action if Iran does that with the protesters. So the focus of this verse is neither keepeth at home. They're in the other nations' business. Like you see Russia and China, they trying to deal with their own business, saying, hey man, we just trying to get our own Soviet Union back. These was our countries before. China, like, yo, Taiwan is part of our country. You know, we just want that back. But Esau, they try to take everything, even Jacob's blessing. Says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, we're trying to get it back, and it is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Man, you'll think that was it after you know, them going after Venezuela. They're like, nah, you got all of Latin America, all of Greenland now. They trying to go after Greenland. They want it all. Let's get that. Damn it. My bad. Let me find this real quick. Here you go. Revelation 17. And it says here, this, Revelation 17:18, and the woman 17:17, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree. So that's why these nations came together and created the beast system, European Union, NATO, America. So they all came to agreement. Now they're going to come at odds. Satan going to be divided against Satan. This is all the plan and mastery of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. All right. Say he's a man of war, strategy, and give their kingdom unto the beast, talking about America, until the words of Yahweh be fulfilled. Right? He said he does not move nor stir said until the said measure be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest, talking about Babylon, the U.S., is that great city, man, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Meaning she reigns as a king over the earth. All right, so it's being revealed that this is that place, reigning over the nations like a king. All right, what was this? I don't need that no more. All right, so we know what regime change is, man. Revolutions, coups, invasions, covert actions, instability. Let me read this. Actually, I'll read it when I get to it. Let me play this video real quick.
Woke up this morning and they saw that you said help is on the way.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a lot of help on the way and in different forms, including economic help from our standpoint, and not going to help Iran very much.
In an interview with CBS Evening News anchor Tony DeCopel, the president said the U.S. is prepared to take strong action against Iran.
It's going down, man. All right, that's why they call him the hammer of the earth. And it made all the world a wilderness. All right, strong action. That's I can't say it. I said it last time. We got strike. So I got 1 point. The hammer. Yeah. All right. Allegedly.
Telling me about hanging. We'll see how that works out for them. It's not going to work out good. But we'll straighten that out. But Iran is on my mind when I see the kind of.
Ooh, hold up. Storm. Yeah. The second is 15 and 39. I'll read this real quick. It says, "And strong winds shall arise from the east, man." All right, these nations talking about the U.S. and its allies. All right, they're gonna arise from the east. Oh, my bad. So let me go one more. I gotta go one more. Not this one. What was that? 39. I gotta go 38 to get the point. All right. So America is part of the West. It says, whoa, that's kind of. This is 35. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. It's talking about Russia getting involved, right? When they start bringing down, going nuclear, all right? And dung of men unto the camel's hoof, meaning there's going to be a lot of bodies over there. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, man. All right, these nations are trembling. The people are trembling because the, um, the technology they're using, man, in these battles, in these wars, destroying whole cities. And they that see the wrath, see, shall be afraid. And you don't really see it over here right now, but you see it on TV. And trembling shall come upon them. And then, so we're gonna watch it happen on TV, or the people in person gonna see it and they're gonna be trembling. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north and another part from the west. That's all the U.S. and their allies gonna come together and start making their way towards the Middle East, according to Scripture. And strong winds shall arise from the east and shall open it. So if a storm is coming up, just like the cold winds can come in and clip the storm and make it weaker and dissipate it, that's what Russia and China are going to do, the kings of the east. So this the time we're in, and Russia just gave a warning. Um, Russia just gave a warning about Iran. It says Russia slams U.S. strike threats, warns against interference in Iran because they're gonna have to get involved. He's saying help is on the way, but Russia like, let me read this one. This seems interesting. Trump says help is on the way. Message to Iran protesters. Then a Russian warning. Come on, man. The bear right there. Be thou a guard unto him. That's Ezekiel 38. The Russian foreign minister said in a statement that the U.S. must be aware of disastrous consequences for the current situation in the Middle East and global international security. It's going to cause World War III. Russia, in a stern warning to the U.S., said that the threats of new military strikes on Iran were categorically unacceptable and slammed what it called a damn, subversive and external um, interference. So like my eyes be messing with me sometimes. All right, subversive external interference. Wow, in Tehran's internal politics. That's regime change. All right, so they're warning of disastrous consequences, man. Crazy. And they're not going to heed those warnings. All right. So 39, and strong winds shall arise from the east, Russia and the kings of the east, and shall open it, meaning stop it, make uh missile defenses, et cetera, et cetera. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, World War II, when they caused fire to come down from the sky and put fear into these other nations. And the star stirred up to cause fear towards the east, see, and the west shall be destroyed. So anything that the missiles that this place has, and they put fear in the Latin America and the Western hemisphere, and then also in the East, they're gonna lose that power. That's I think it's Isaiah 47, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so yeah, that's the time we're in right now with kind of this is Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. That's a missile. What they call that? Arms race, nuclear arms race. Let the weak say, "I am strong, man." So now the nations are saying they're strong, but they got to get pushed against to say that they're strong, and we're seeing that push. We're seeing that bullying happen, and now we're gonna see what it means. Where the Lord said they're gonna say they're strong. All right, we're about to see uh, a real time prophecy. All right.
Death that is happening over there, we think. So we're going to get some accurate numbers. I'll have it in about 20 minutes. We'll get some accurate numbers as to what's happening with regard to the killing. The killing looks like it's significant, but we don't know yet for certain. I'll know within 20 minutes. So,
as the Iranian crisis goes on,
Skip a little bit.
The crowds remain huge and that the government appears to be on its heels. The Speaker of Iran's parliament warned if the U.S. attacks, American bases will burn. President Trump has said,
You see that? And that goes into Nahum, where it speaks about how Nineveh fell, getting involved and thought it was safe because of the waters around it. And then his army was spread out, and then they got plucked off.
that would be a big mistake.
if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
There you have a possibility of a false flag in the mix right there, in the making. Hanging, uh, strikes on U.S. bases. Those are options for a false flag. All right, let me get Matthews 24:6. Matthews 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Man, this is another rumor of the wars, man. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is still not yet, man. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. That's wars breaking out. All right, and earthquakes happening from weather atrocities. All these are just the beginning of sorrows, man. Whew, it's gonna be worse than that. That's World War III. All right, let's see a little bit more of this.
In Iran, state media, the only media amid the tightening communications
domestically than they ever have been before. I think that's regime security.
Okay, well, on that very point, President Trump posted this to True Social
Like
yesterday.
puppets.
Effective immediately, any country
I'm gonna call this. You remember that show DC Follies? That's what this is. A bunch of puppets. Effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25%. Man, so they're using that dollar for control again. And they didn't make a move against Venezuela until China at the beginning of the year, they made a move on silver, and they said they made all kind of different monetary rules dealing with the silver trade, and then that's when they like, up, we got to take the market. Uh, in the talks of China possibly being able to use Venezuela as an ally or a launching pad to attack or stop the shipping routes around the Gulf of America that they call it now. And then with Greenland, which they got a movie coming out called Greenland. Go figure, right? It shows you their intentions, man. They plan to be right in front of you. That's the part of their uh, Masonic belief. They got to tell you before it happens. All right. It says the order is final and conclusive. To a cruel lord, man. King of Babylon. So we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars. And he said all options are on the table. Woo. Let's see what they're talking about right here.
Of them that the United States would still like to attack, and so would the Israelis. The problem with that is that it wouldn't actually help the protesters very much, and it would be an attack on some background elements of.
Right. It don't have anything to do with the protests. This is all propaganda. And then you have Iran just made a threat to Trump, and they said this time they won't miss. It's crazy, man. They said the times of evil that we're living in. So I'm gonna get one more precept. I might play some more of this video, maybe. We'll get Psalms 10 and 3. I gotta get that. Yeah, Psalms 10 and 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, man, and blesseth the covetous. So they blessing greedy nations like Israel, whom Yahweh abhorreth, man, or Ukraine, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So they robbed the world, they robbed the poor to give to the rich. Psalms, or take more power from the weak to give more strength to the strong. Psalm 17 and 10. It says, there you go. Psalm 17 and 10. Now, this is a prayer of King David talking about his enemies, but y'all see the point. It's just the mindset of a tyrannical ruler that's moving in transgression and wickedness and pride. All right. Let me see if I got something. It says here, they are enclosed in their own fat, so their riches have deceived them and blinded them, and their power. It says, with their mouth they speak proudly. Right. That's how the foundations of the U.S. Started. There you go. With their mouth they speak proudly. Their president. Daniel 7 and 8. And it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. All right, that little horn is talking about America. Little tugboat. Right, who looked was more stout than his fellows. And now look what it turned into, a beast. Dominating the world. Spake as a lamb in the beginning, acting all innocent. Politicians. Says before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. This was the foundation of what's called the U.S. today. The Spanish War, the French War, and basically the War of Independence with Britain. That was, you heard things like the British are coming. All right, this was the establishment of the U.S. And behold, so it started off with war. And behold, in this horn, this exalted kingdom, were eyes like the eyes of a man. He said it went from Iran is great to it went from make Iran great to Trump is watching through his agencies, man, the CIA, FBI, et cetera, et cetera. All right, that's what this represents. And a mouth speaking great things, man. All right, great in wickedness, all their plans, boasting. That's the presidency. Well, let's go back. Psalms 17 and 9, 17 and 10. They are enclosed in their own fat, man. With the riches, blinded by your own riches and wealth and power and greed. With their mouth, they speak proudly. See, speaking great things proudly. But the pride of thy heart has deceived thee. They have now compassed us in our steps, man. All right, taking over the whole world. They're making a move. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, watching, seeing what they're going to take over next. All right, that's control. Set their eyes bowing down to the earth, meaning all the agencies, they set them up to go ahead and take control of the earth now. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Just like Habakkuk chapter 2, greedy of their prey. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Yahweh. All right. So even the Iranians are just meant, they're wicked as well. But, the plan is bigger than this, man. This is just a start of what they're doing. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, like Mr. T, which have their portion in this life, man. So he having his moment right now, shining moment. That's their portion in this life. Our portion is in the life to come. And whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, Esau. It said, neither shall they know the loss of children. They got allies, protection, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes, man. All right. So they bless the covetous. They leave their children to be richer later. That's their goal. And they busy always tripping up the other nations and even our nation, the Israelites. So as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. And that's our goal, is to walk that path of the spiritual path, while Esau's walking the carnal path. All right. Leaving blood behind. So that mouth speaking great things, man. The wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. And we're seeing what their true desire is, man. Right here. Look. Just to, and he said he was making his way over there soon. And he one of the people that read cue cards. You already know, man. A puppet. He could speak a little bit on his own, so people start to believe him. Then that puppet just kick in, you know, and he start parroting or reading off cue cards. So the agenda is right in front of you. All right, with that, I'm gonna end it. Hopefully, this was edifying. It's a quick little update on what's going on over there. Um, agenda. You see it? When you see him over there, you already know what time it is. You see him into Iran. He said he's making his way over there soon. All right, that's what they call a plant. All right, so hey man, it's just my opinion, and just read from the prophecies. All right, you gotta look at things how you choose to, but us in this truth, we look at things with the single eyes, right? With the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai. So with that, I want to end it and say, Shalom and peace to the elect. Hopefully this was edifying. It helps you on your next lesson, talking about this topic and a little more understanding of what's going on in the times we're in. The Lord said there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, but just remember that the end is not yet. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.